My marriage to my wife has been hell. I've done everything I can to fix it, but nothing seems to be working. She said I don't help her enough around the house, and that I'm no longer affectionate with her like I used to be. And the truth is that I'm really trying. I listen to everything she says to me and I try to work on it, but everything I do just leads to more nagging and complaining from her. Nothing I do for her is enough. She just complains and complains. Soon, I started to feel like I was not good enough for her. I have a job I hate because my boss is the worst. Their job pays me well, but I've been trying to quit for some time now because I'm not happy. But my wife is against it, and it is because of her that I am still working at this place. She says I will not get a better job than the one I'm doing right now if I quit, and that I should just bear with my boss and continue working there. It was at this point that I realized my wife doesn't care about my happiness. I just got fed up with everything, and I started thinking about ending the marriage. My wife traveled to her hometown a few months ago, and I was sitting on my balcony drinking when our neighbor in the next apartment, who was passing by, asked me if I was okay. She said I looked miserable and sad. She sat with me and we drank together, and it felt refreshing to have someone actually listening to me when I talk. We both got really drunk that night and we ended up sleeping together. This was not planned, it just happened. She is also a friend of my wife, so we both decided to never let it happen again. But I couldn't stop thinking about her. So a week later, I went to her apartment and we ended up sleeping together again. She told me she had always had feelings for me and that she couldn't stop thinking about me after we slept together the last time. I was also beginning to fall for her, and it was not like my marriage was the best. So we both decided to continue seeing each other till I ended the marriage with my wife. I saw her secretly for 4 months till I was ready to ask my wife for the divorce. One day I came home to see my wife naked and sweaty. I immediately knew something was off. I checked all our rooms, but there was no one else around. She told me our electricity stopped working for some time, so she took off all her clothes because she was feeling hot. I saw her this way about 3 times after getting home from work. She would be naked and sweaty and there would be no one else in the room, and she will always give me one excuse after the other. At the time, I didn't really think much of it. The day I finally spoke to her about ending the marriage, she just said okay, and that I should bring the divorce papers when I was ready for her to sign it. I was so surprised at how well she took it. I was about to walk away when she called me back and told me she had something to tell me. My wife looked at me straight in the eye and told me she had been having an affair with my boss, and that all the times I came to meet her at home, naked and sweaty, it was because she had just finished sleeping with my boss not long ago. I looked at this woman in shock. She had only met my boss once at a work party about a year ago. I don't even know how they met again. I asked her how she could do this to me, especially since she knows how much I hate that man. She called me a hypocrite and told me she wanted me out of the apartment that night. So apparently she had found out about my affair with the neighbor, and I don't know if that is the reason why she started sleeping with my boss. And even if she had wanted to pay me back, she should have slept with any other man in the world. Why my boss? A man she knows has made my life miserable. I've always known my wife has never wanted my happiness, but for her to go this far shows how much she despises me. I'm experiencing so many emotions right now, and I just don't know how to feel. I never planned to cheat on my wife. It just happened. But she actually went ahead and planned to cheat on me. I'm so happy we don't have kids together, because what she did cut me deeply, and I don't think I would ever forgive her. My twin sister passed away 3 years ago during childbirth. Her child survived, but she didn't. Her death was a huge blow to my family and her husband. Everyone was a mess. She had only been married to her husband for 2 years, and I knew he loved her with all his heart. For the first few weeks after she died, he couldn't even look at his own child. He just stayed away from the baby. My mom and his mom were both old women. He had no siblings, so I had to step up and take care of the baby. The baby was released from the hospital a few weeks after my sister died. I quit my job and moved into a house with the baby. Now my sister and I are identical twins, so I felt this was a bad idea. Since her husband was still mourning her death, seeing me around every day would only make things worse. But he said he would be okay. Now his mom personally had never liked my sister. They almost didn't get married because of her. She is a very difficult woman and she's very hard to please. My sister meant everything to me, and after she died, I felt like I lost part of me. I just had to remain strong for the baby. After the baby turned 1, I realized that the relationship between my sister's husband and myself was beginning to change. We were beginning to develop feelings for each other. This little girl thought I was a real mother, and I saw her as my own child. I knew developing feelings for my late sister's husband was not okay. So I did everything in my power to push my feelings aside and concentrate on my sister's child. But after she turned 2, I just couldn't lie to myself any longer. He was making moves to show me he had feelings for me, and I really wanted to be with him too. We
ended up sleeping together a few months ago. He wants us to make our relationship official and tell our family about it. I really love him and I want to be with him, but I feel this is wrong. Also, what if he's not really in love with me and he just wants to be with me because I look like his late wife? And I also don't have the patience to deal with his mother. Since I moved in with him to take care of the baby, she has been trying to make my life hell. She finds a fault with everything I do. My sister's child will be turning 3 very soon, and leaving her behind after all these years is going to be hell for me. I really want to be with this man, but I don't know if it is the right thing to do, and I don't know how our families are also going to receive this. Should I just leave and start afresh when his child turns 3, or should I stay and give him a chance and fight for our love no matter what? This follower needs your advice, babes. Please drop some. Don't forget to follow me for more story times.